You know, it's pretty damning and embarrassing just seeing how many leaks are coming out of Crunchyroll in the past, like, 2 weeks now. To Konosuba, to now this. It's just, what's going on at Crunchyroll? It is just straight up embarrassing. Like, this right here where they're saying we are currently investigating the source of the leaks, and the source of their leaks is basically their own employees. It's just like, bro, someone is 100% losing their job thanks to just what has been happening for these past few weeks. So let's get right into it. So basically, late yesterday, there was a leak, or, it was a leak, but technically, Crunchyroll officially released a video, which is no longer here. Like, if you go out of your way to try to find it, you cannot find it. But they released a video too early that was the Mushoku Tensei opening for Season 2. Now, for the most part, this isn't anything relatively crazy, because obviously it's just an opening song. But you gotta remember, there is licensing, copyright holders, the big wigs on top, and all that, and then not including all the drama that could happen with the Japanese companies thanks to this. There's a lot of things that go into this behind the scenes that can just say, yeah, this is not good. Like, this can definitely fall back on Crunchyroll very quickly because, the faith in Crunchyroll will dwindle if this just continuously happens. And, once again, to the Konosuba leaks, to just now this, and then a bunch of other anime, it's just like, it's very embarrassing from a company that pretty much has a monopoly of all of anime and manga to just continuously have something like this happening. But, anyways, the opening for Mushoku Tensei came out, and obviously, now that it is officially out, no matter how much Crunchyroll tries to hide it, for instance, they have privated the video, you can no longer watch it officially on their YouTube channel, it is spread like wildfire all on the platform of Twitter and different sites. So, if you want to see the opening, you can go out of your way and, actually see the opening. I mean, you can even see the watermark of Crunchyroll at the top left. Like, I'm not going to show too much yet for this, but you can even see the watermark on the top left, and it showcases that, whoever clicked that publish button on this, they've lost their job. Now, anyways, let's get into the actual opening. Let's talk about that for a second, because obviously, I'm a big fan of Mushoku Tensei. I know a lot of you guys that watch my content are big fans of Mushoku Tensei, and so let's just dive headfirst into this opening song and, just talk about everything that, happened within it. So, quick disclaimer here before I go any further into this opening, there is a lot of spoilers. Like, I'm talking about spoilers that pretty much give away the entirety of Mushoku Tensei Season 2 Part 2. Like, all the main plot points to certain things that's going to happen. The opening song gives it away. Now, to be fair, this is coming from a light novel reader. I'm a light novel reader, so I know what's going to be happening in the future of this story, but I do think even if you're an anime only, there is a lot of things that are going to be given away with this opening that might, upset people. So if you're an individual that, hates spoilers, you don't like to be spoiled, you don't like openings spoiling you, I really recommend you not to watch this opening. I'm just going to be completely blunt there, because it does give a lot away. Now, with that being said, let's just get headfirst into it. So, this opening song in general, I'm not gonna lie, it might be the best opening song of the entire series. Now, that might be a bit of a hot take, because I know there's others that love the opening from last season and stuff, because it did really fit the vibe and theme of what, Mushoku Tensei is about. But I really just like what this opening represents. Like, for instance, if I'm disregarding the spoilers and just looking at what story is being presented within this opening, I just love the visuals at the start here, where it showcases Rudy as, like, a baby, and you just see him, like, growing and getting older and older as he goes through his journey of life. And I just love how he, like, reminisces about key little scenes throughout his life and stuff. You get little hints of what's to come. You see him running and all that. Very nice shot with a lot of symbolic meaning, to where he meets Sylphie, which, as we know, has become his wife. And it's a really just beautiful little sequence. And I love this little, little twirl effect where the camera pans around them, and then you see Mushoku Tensei's title drop right behind the character silhouettes. It's just great. It's a really wonderful little sequence that kind of represents also too, because it's like when you read this title in the background, it says Mushoku Tensei, and then you see them right there, it's just two people, which you could also represent as Season 2, for instance, just the 2 symbol. So I like that. I just like the little detail here that is within this opening here, and I love the constant swaps between the silhouettes here, showing different characters, like, Roxy, and I think this is a really interesting point too. It's just how much smaller Roxy is in comparison to Rudy now, because you gotta remember, it's been years since Rudy saw her, and obviously that's as tall as she is, and so seeing him, tower over her now just shows once again the progression of the main character and just how much he has grown as a person. But there's a lot of visuals within this that just showed main key characters and stuff, and I love this little sequence here, walking through like the field and stuff, and you see young Sylphie just very shy and nervous, and then Rudy just leading the path away, and then now you see the future. They're walking side by side with confidence, shoulder to shoulder, just getting groceries or something for their home. It's just super cute, and I love this. There's a lot of little things that just showcase, like I said, the accomplishments that the story has made thus far, and as you can see, there's details here that's given away. You see, for instance, one of Rudy's sisters here that looks to be in a maid uniform and, cleaning. You can assume that, she somehow comes to visit Rudy, which gets into the spoiler department of, what the opening gives away. But as you continue forward, you see, school life. You see, the other sister, Norn, Rudy's sister here, attending school and all that. And you get to see that there is some form of, like, connection here, something going on that the story is hinting. To also see Nanahoshi here as well, briefly, and how, she is keeping a wall between others, for instance, like a facade or mask. And then you see the whole puppet sequence here. Like, as you can see, you see the actual puppet that they got in the first episode of Season 2, last week. It's just, yeah, there's a lot of little details here. And even Roxy appearing. And I think that this is a really interesting moment because, this is the moment I was really shocked to see in this opening. Like this is one of the moments that's like, wait, they really are spoiling stuff. Like, you see Roxy, and then you see this sequence right here, and it's just like, wait a minute, what is happening here? And you see, like, a whole group just charging after this Hydra-like creature, and you see Rudy there, you see Roxy there, and it's just like, okay, this is pretty freaking cool. The design as well, like, it's not CGI or anything. It's a high-quality looking action sequence, and if you look very closely here, you could see, like, just different key players that are going to be playing a huge part in these upcoming episodes of Mushoku Tensei, and, like, just how dangerous it really is. Even Paul coming in and fighting as well. Such a great sequence, honestly. I was very shocked to see this in the opening, and then this little shot, too, the paneling around the two characters as they've grown a lot older, and then, like, they fist bump. It's just, it's such a beautiful little scene. But, overall, Mushoku Tensei... it's an incredible opening. Like, it gives so much, details and context to what to expect. I do wonder just how this looks to anime-onlys. Like, those that don't really know what's fully going on, I wonder how they're going to take this. Like, does it really spoil so much? Because I'm trying to talk about this without spoiling, like, as much as possible, while just talking about the scenes. And I'm just curious what anime-onlys will take away from this. But, yeah, I mean, despite Crunchyroll obviously being a clown show at this point with the leak that clearly happened that this wasn't supposed to release, I'm kind of happy it did because there's been a lot of conversation around MT thanks to this, and I love to see it. It's a great series, it's a nice fantasy story, and, it's just good to be back. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. It does help me out a lot, and I would greatly appreciate it. And with that, Chibi out.